Hey, what is up ladies and gentlemen, I am Jewel here.
And I'm Duffy Duck here, and we are back for some more yet again for the likes of the Maxi Toys videos.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back for some more of Let's Play of Mario and Sonic at the London 2012 Olympic Games for the Nintendo Wii. So last time we have managed to play through 4 of those events, which there are football, shooting, and fencing, and especially noticeable with cycling in the actual team pursuit. And regardless of such though, we actually managed to achieve every single gold medals in journey forms within the actual Olympic events. All except, of course, the forms of synchronized swimming, because of how the fact that we keep on messing things up with the timing skills and what have you. So, today, we're about to begin the best part about this game, much like the forms of Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Winter Games, and even a little bit in the forms of Sochi 2014, and heck, even with the forms of Tokyo 2020 as well. We're gonna be hit on to the Dream event, which to kick things off, here we go on to Dream Long Jump. And for this event, we'll go for the most obvious character we're gonna be selecting is Yoshi. So, in this event, players bounce on clouds and compete to see who can travel the furthest. So, if you couldn't tell already, this is our second attempt for this recording session, I'll explain more on that later, because for now, let us begin with Dream Long Jump, the first ever Dream event in this game. So in this case, much like the forms of Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Winter Games, and before Sochi 2014 and Tokyo 2020, once again it takes place in the Mario and Sonic universe. So in this instance, it's the fact that this particular event takes place in Yoshi's picture book, which is actually inspired by Yoshi's story, from the looks of the actual background as you see here. Although, kind of think about it, it always kind of reminds me of also from the likes of, well, Yoshi's Island Zone from the likes of Sonic Lost Worlds, but that was before then. Yeah, I know that. So yeah, in this event right here, all you need to do is just basically is how to travel to the furthest meters is the winner. And I actually have to admit though right away, I actually really enjoyed this particular music right here because it's so bouncy and catchy, which, gotta think about it, get it? Because we have to bounce on clouds every time. So yeah, if you somehow manage to fall off in journey forms that specific matter, what happens is that if you somehow fell into the actual obstacles like these, what happens is the fact that you will able to actually get into the results screen instantly. But honestly, out of all the actual Dream events in this game, this is by far one of the toughest first place medal to achieve, because no matter what though, computer players are not only good at it, but until whatever you realize is that since that Bowser Jr. somehow managed to fell in, so as a result they're now becoming bombs, so as a result we need to avoid them at all costs, so that way we don't have to like get not only a knockback, but also just don't get ourselves the forms of a fell out scenario. So in this case, that the player's choice, as you can see, when it comes to computer players and such, those are Sonic and Silver, which is actually related to Sonic 06 and Kingdom Valley in, it doesn't matter if it's in Sonic Story or Silver Story, and of course Bowser Jr. and Yoshi as you can see right here. Even though that despite the fact that in every single Yoshi games, they always call Bowser Jr. Baby Bowser because, you know, you get the idea for that little rivalry and such, so, oh boy, this is getting a little bit trickier, and can we hopefully try to make it? Ah, it's so unpredictable! Wait. Okay, whew, thank goodness for that. Oh, wait! Ah, Sonic just utilized his bomb! Just right in front of us! Ah, oh well, we'll take second. But, that was definitely the only, problematic I feel like with this event. Even though, don't get me wrong, it is still enjoyable as it is, but, it's just the bombs themselves is way too much after when you get knockouts for likely nothing else. So for the sake of clarity, this is your first time hearing this, well, at least depending if you're in 3rd or 2nd place, you still get the exact same theme in between. So, relatively speaking, there's our first, 2nd medal in this whole entire Let's Play. So, again, we must admit though right away, nothing else can be perfect in terms of the forms of playthroughs and stuff. So, but either way though, that's all I can really say here. Alright, so now let's move on to the next dream event, which appears to be Dream Rafting, which, kind of think about it, is kind of an odd choice with the actual dream events like this, but hey, we'll give it a go. And as far as the forms of this event in particular, much like the forms of football, 4x 100 meter relay, and especially noticeable any other dream events which we'll get into in a moment, or to be more specifically though, Defi, we'll save that up until likely on the next video at some point. So yeah, let's just go ahead and select Tails, Knuckles, and I would say Amy Rose. And as far as the fourth player, we'll go for Blaze as it is. Even though we're literally able to select Vector, but unfortunately we didn't get a chance to actually just use him. So in this event, teams of 4 work together to complete 4 points in a variety of missions. And this takes place in Cheep Cheep River, which is actually inspired by World 4 from the likes of New Super Mario Bros. Wii, because you can definitely tell with the graphical standpoints, and as you can see right here. Except a notable difference being is the fact that it doesn't take place in 2D. Instead, this is actually the first time we're going to be seeing, well, technically if you want to count the world map in, well, to be more specifically in World 4 in New Super Mario Bros. Wii. So this is actually the proper first time we're going to be exploring around on New Super Mario Bros. Wii World from in 3D environment. But obviously the notable difference being is the fact that, well, we have to utilize a rafting all the time. So yeah, basically in this particular event, as you can see, is the fact that you have to collect the most points before, well, you have to do a variety of missions, basically, such as like, well, there's gonna be some events, or some of those missions, like collecting coins and stuff like that, and also there's gonna be a few moments whenever we, trying to defeat certain amount of enemies, dodge certain amount of enemies as much as possible. So, but even then, you can definitely know why whenever we get onto the forms of that cave part. Or in this case, you can able to actually perform a nice little ground pound thing right there, which can able to actually take down a lot of enemies easily, like these. So, as a result of that kind of stuff. What the? How did that happen? Okay, I have no idea what just happened right there. So anyways, in this particular segment, as you can see right here, we have to avoid the forms, because if you somehow failed the mission like this, you don't get any points. So as a result, yeah, since we did manage to succeed, we actually got ourselves 50 points. So yeah, we have to able to try our best if we're able to actually just complete most of those missions as possible as we could. So either way though, it's all about teamwork effort obviously, so as a result, we're off by 2 coins from that segment. Oh well. And the next thing we need to do is just defeat Poil Cup Puffer Fish. I think that's what the enemies themselves were called. And basically you have to ground pound at the same time, so that way it will able to deal the amount of kills between them. So it's not too bad though, especially noticeable how the fact that, well, thankfully computer players can able to actually control by themselves obviously. So, whenever first time we've ever experienced this event back in 2012, that we have no idea how this plays out. But since this is now 2020 Joel, it's the fact that we have managed to able to get used to with this for the sake of time. So, as soon as you reach for this, the ending conclusion portion, oh, what do we have here? We have Blooper Blooper. Okay, that seems very interesting because it's actually a reference to Super Mario Sunshine, or to be more specifically, as what it says on the text, saying Blooper. But we just like to call it Glooper Blooper because we've already recognized this particular familiar boss ever since in Super Mario Sunshine, basically. And the entire objective on this, though, is the fact that you have to obviously don't fall off, because if you somehow fell off, then not only does it gives you a less advantage, as you can tell, but also because of how the fact that, well, I don't know about you, but either way, we did manage to succeed. So, yeah, pretty swell, I have to say. And then once you manage to defeat Glooper Blooper, or if you fell off in the actual arena, oh, we're off by 2 points just to get that new record. Oh, we're literally that close. Yeah, if only if we could have able to actually just to achieve more missions as we could. But oh well, beggar cells can be choosers, as you know. But regardless, we still got ourselves our glorious first medal. Yeah, kudos to you, Tails. Kudos to you. Especially with Knuckles, Amy, and Blaze, of course. So, oh, we got ourselves the achievement challenge completed. That's pretty cool, I have to say. I do apologize with the actual tongue twisting again, folks. So anyway, the next event we're going to be hitting into is Dream Discus. And for this event, let's go ahead and select one of the Mario characters now. And for that reason, let's go ahead and use Mario. Especially noticeable how the fact that, you know, 35th anniversary of himself. So, in this event, players ride a discus to collect rings to score the most points. So, in this particular event takes place in Windy Valley from Sonic Adventure. Yeah, because we actually recognize that particular familiar theme, as you can see. Even then though, it does look pretty cool still, especially noticeable how the fact that it has been likely, well, ever since in Sonic Adventure on the Dreamcast, that just makes things very revolutionary and stuff like that. Despite there are some dated stuff like, you know, awful animations aside, but as well as the actual atrocious lip syncing, which is as far as you guys already know. So, but either way though, let's not get ahead of ourselves for this point, because in this event, obviously we need to collect the most insane amount of rings as we could, and then once you're able to make your way to the end. By the way, this is entirely linear, by the way, if you want to know what this is going on. Just like the ones and how it does it in most other events, basically, such as, of course, well, to be more specifically, Dream Rafting, except, well, rather than dealing with teamwork for the time being, until whenever we get on to Team or Dream Equestrian, until at some point in the next video, then we should be able to talk more about it until then, so... And by the way, you can able to actually hold down the 2 button until you're able to actually decide to do a little bit of a charge up thing. And that way you can able to actually get yourselves a little bit of a speed. And not only that, you can also just manage to able to shove over your players most of the time, so that way it doesn't get in your way. Actually, kind of thing about it is the fact that the players we actually compete against are, well, obviously Wario, because, well, Mario and Wario are actually becoming rivals ever since, well, specifically in new forms of Super Mario Land 2, that in the final boss in the game, which is of course Wario, because, you know, he stole Mario's castle, and also we've got ourselves Silver and Amy, based off from that, the Sonic 06 thing. Yep, from the likes of Silver Story, but either way though, we keep on referencing other games in journey forms of specifically from, you know, just anything in general, which is kind of odd. So anyways, let's get into the forms of that tornado sequence, just like in Sonic Adventure, except a noticeable difference being is the fact that we immediately take place in that specifically, the third portion of, you know, Windy Valley, and this is where we're going to be able to deal with the final touch by simply landing on its targets. And just like in the forms of Dream Ski Jumping from Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Winter Games, that, if you somehow manage to make it to that specific number of targets, as you can see, the highest being the forms of 50, by the way, as opposed to 100. So if you do manage to land on its target, then you would able to get some more points by the end. So even then though, self-explanatory, and it's actually kind of fun to able to actually just to play through this. Especially noticeable how the fact that we always attempt to enjoy Windy Valley, because, you know, that stage is so good. Yeah, especially even for the forms of Sonic Adventure 1 selections of stages. Well, to be more specifically for Sonic and Tails, and also E102 Gamma for likely doing with the time limit system. Yeah, because, you know, he's actually, you know. Alright, so let's move on to the 4th Dream event in this game, and that's what appears to be Dream Uneven Bars. Which meaning about the fact that we once again gonna have to deal with the uneven bars themselves. And this time we're gonna be selecting Luigi this time. Alright, so in this event, players compete for points by swinging and moving from bar to bar. And as you can see from the actual environment standpoint, this takes place in Grand Metropolis from Sonic Heroes. There's going to be a lot of Sonic Heroes stages bringing back from the forms of the future events we're going to be hitting to. Well, despite the fact that we've already come across into Dream Sprint since Journey Forms have been London Party, but we figure we might as well able to show that event again during at some point in Journey Forms of the next day. So anyways, let's get started, and why do I know it's been donkeys years since I actually played this game basically, but it's kind of hard to get back into it at this rate, so forgive us for able to budget. Especially notable how the fact that recently we actually started playing through, we still continue things on with our Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition experience, and also same applies to Mario and Rabbids Kingdom Battle recently, so that way we can able to actually just play for the game in our own time. I'm not exactly sure, we might do a let's play of those games basically, because RPG stuff won't be our criteria for the most part though. Well, the only exception is of course the Kingdom Hearts games basically, because well, it feels like a action adventure and RPG kind of stuff as well. So, but either way though, that's all I can really say about this for the most part. So yeah, this event right here is the fact that much like in the forms of Dream Discus, is the fact that we need to achieve the most insane amount of points as we could. And that's about it, basically. Except a noticeable difference now is the fact that we have to utilize with the uneven bars instead of, you know, riding on the Discus in the whole entire time. Gotta think about it, back in the forms of Sonic Heroes, as far as when, I don't know if Mario and Buttercup did manage to able to done that Let's Play back in Junior Forms of in 2017. That, Grand Metropolis is without a doubt one of the most memorable stages in Sonic Heroes because of how creativity this looks. Or, for the sake of time, is the fact that the actual Grand Metropolis also contains a second act stage called Power Plant. Even though despite the fact that we not actually gonna come across into that, you know, the hot, you know, Power Plant final section from, you know, between for Team Sonic and Team Dark instead of like Team Rose and Team Chaotix, because you know that's those two teams managed to able to do something a little bit differently. Like Team Rose makes everything else easier and short for newcomers, and also for Team Chaotix it's all mission based. So you know you get the drill for this point, FA. Yeah. So if you manage to wait long enough, especially noticeable, we almost at the very end of this particular event as you can see, sometimes we have to able to hurry things up because the platform will show up in journey forms of that far right of the actual thing itself. Now once the actual platforming itself did manage to show up, well, to be more specifically just about right now, you know, with that goal thing right here, now's your chance to able to, oh sorry Dr. Eggman, better luck next time. Especially noticeable how the fact that you somehow bounce onto Yoshi and Waluigi's head. So, sorry about that. And sadly we didn't get a new record, but that's okay, because we still managed to get ourselves our glorious first for the win. Yeah, especially noticeable how the fact that, then again, it does take a lot of practice on this though, especially after playing through, you know, the future games for our life. And then after coming back into this, it does take a while though, but either way though, still in a good way nonetheless. Yeah, especially noticeable how the fact that, well, you know, you get the idea. Alright, so every single Mario character gets their medals, like Waluigi gets the 3rd place medal, and Yoshi gets 2nd medal, and of course, Luigi managed to get 1st medal. So yeah, pretty swell. And I think we should probably do one more Dream event for the time being, and that will obviously will have to be, well, Dream Hurdles. Even though technically we've already played this before, since in London Party, but we're gonna show this off again, but this time around though, we're gonna have to do this on single match mode. So, and let's go ahead and select Donkey Kong, because you know, Donkey Kong has always been one of the more cooler characters in the entire Nintendo franchises. In this event, players run on a revolving stage to jump over hurdles and rivals for points. So yeah, again, as far as you guys can clearly see on screen, that as we mentioned this before, since in London Party mode, this obviously takes place in Battle Rock Galaxy from Super Mario Galaxy. So even then though, and the opponents wise we have, oh, Daisy's back again. And also we got ourselves Tails and Sonic, so it's like a 50-50 between the two. Don't you mean the two franchises, you know? Or, for the sake of time, Defi, for both Mario and Sonic universes and stuff. So yeah, as we noticed something like this before, oh yeah, that voice clip by the way, it actually sounds very familiar. It's actually based off from like, I would say Donkey Kong Jungle Beat, if I could expect this much. Because in Journey Forms of me and Tiana already did finish up with Donkey Kong Jungle Beat Let's Play recently, that you do notice is the fact that I seem to be able to die several times during the hardest kingdoms throughout. And also, don't forget, is the fact that that particular voice clip, we're able to reuse that until Donkey Kong Country returns, and especially noticeable with Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze, which, that seems a little bit obvious for the sake of the forms of painful acknowledgements or something, so yeah, in this event, obviously, we just have to keep on jumping over hurdles within the infinite, circular UFO platform that we have to get a lot of usage out of. Every once in a while, though, is the fact that, you know, there's going to be a lot of question mark panels you can able to activate, such as some of these random effects, like, you know, speed up rotation, and especially noticeable with reverse, this meaning about the fact that it'll go the opposite way, and also rare occasions where it just starts to go max out speed, and also same applies to that Sonic, as you can see, that he got himself his Superstar Man, as he's got. And by the way, with that particular theme right there, it's actually heavily borrowed from the most recent New Super Mario Bros. Games these days. Mainly with New Super Mario Bros. Wii, and before New Super Mario Bros. 2, and even right before New Super Mario Bros. U, basically. So even then, yeah. Just want to point it out right away, so, you know. And conveniently enough, unlike in the previous Dream events, we got our new record, of course. So yeah, how's that for that? I would say we actually got about 4 points than it originally had from the actual previous record. So, who knows? And kudos to that. I have no idea why I'm truly saying like that right now. Then again, there's not much else we can say apart from the fact that, man, going back into those Dream events, it was such a, like, a joy to my ears. Or even, despite the fact that, Macars, doesn't seem to have ears, obviously. So, anyway, so, for the sake of time, we're probably gonna have to end things off here. So join us next time for more of Let's Play of Mario and Sonic at the London 2012 Olympic Games. It's the fact that we're also able to wrap things up with the rest of the Dream events, which are Dream Equestrian, all the way up to Dream Fencing. So hopefully it should be a lot more fun than it used to be. So see you guys until on Tuesday. Later, fellas.